What up, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 29 in my 8th annual 31 Days of Horror. For today's review, we are going with Blackwater from the year 2007. The director of this film, David Neerlich, has directed another really good film in a similar vein called The Reef, which is a film about these people stranded out in the ocean and there's a shark attacking them. This one is kind of similar to that. Blackwater involves a killer crocodile and the fight for survival. But the director also directed Blackwater Abyss, which is the sequel to this film. I think it's in name only. Would make sense if it was. That came out this year, which I plan on watching, so that's why I'm watching this one, revisiting this one now. So I've seen this once before, probably back in like 2010. I thought it was really good. So revisiting it, I expected to feel the same way. It basically follows this couple and the girlfriend or the wife's little sister who are checking out these crocodiles out in Australia, and they decide to go on this little fishing trip in this small boat with this fishing guide into the swamp area. And the fishing guide, they're not really catching much fish, so they decide to go further into these this mangrove swamp area. And when they do, they capsize their boat, and there is a crocodile in the water. They climb up onto the trees. You know, it's those like swampy trees where they're coming out of the water and stuff like that. And they hang out on there and try to devise a plan to put in action to get out of there. The boat's capsized, and the tour guide is dead. Nobody really knows they're out there, so they kind of have to figure out what to do. I've always been a sucker for survival films, survival horror films as well, where, you know, people are stuck in a situation, they have to figure out what to do and how to survive and things like that. They've always kind of worked for me. Rewatching this one, I do think it's still an effective movie, but I definitely have a few more problems with it than I might have back in 2010 when I seen it. For one, there's some things in the film that happen that you kind of are like, I don't know about that, which tends to happen in killer animal films in general, but I feel like this one was a little egregious on some fronts. Some things I just didn't buy at all. It says it's inspired by true stories, but I don't know if that just means it's inspired by a real-life crocodile attack where nothing similar at all happened, but it was a crocodile and people, and they got attacked in a swamp. You know, you kind of say inspired by true events about pretty much anything. But maybe the story actually was similar. I don't know. I didn't look it up. But my guess is probably not. So yeah, I think that this movie is effective in terms of the crocodile looks great. They use, I think, a real crocodile most of the time. The acting is pretty solid. The survival aspect is, you know, pretty good. You really are, like, have ideas of, like, what you want the characters to do. And most of the time they do those things. It's just kind of what happens when they do them that might seem a little unrealistic at times. There's also some moments where I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't think that could happen or would happen. And you know, but I think that it was, you know, fairly unpredictable in terms of, like, what the outcome was. There's actually a pretty sad part in this one, maybe multiple sad parts, but one that really was sad to me. The acting was, you know, very solid. I think that it's a small, simple movie. There's not many characters. There's like 5 characters in the whole movie, and it's kind of focusing with them and focusing on them, and you get a little bit of relationship and character development between the characters. You definitely sense the emotional attachment to each other, which is nice. I think that, you know, by the end of the film, I felt like it was just long enough. It could have been maybe even a little bit shorter, but it didn't overstay its welcome, which was nice. It's like an hour and 28 minutes, so that's always good. It's always good when you have a film like this that's small and contained and actually, you know, flies by or feels paced well, because you can really mess these up. So with that said, I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10. The Reef is a much stronger film. from the same director. I hear Blackwater Abyss isn't the best, so I'm a little nervous going into that one, but I do want to check it out. I'm probably going to watch it after I film this video, so yeah. Stay tuned to my podcast if you want to hear that. His and Hers Movie Podcast is the sidecast that I do with my friend Carly. So we will be covering Blackwater Abyss next. So if you're interested in that, check it out. And with that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow with another one, and all next month as well, because we're going to be doing a whole nother 31 days of horror after the next 3 days. So peace out.